Hey, I'm Jay from the Cub Scouts. Welcome to me reacting to animations on the internet. I have no idea what I'm gonna call this, but you know what? It's just like a rough draft right now, okay? This is no original idea. I'm not the first one to do this. I actually got this from my bro, Corey Kenshin. So what I did, I reached out to Wansee Entertainment. Shout out to them for allowing me to react to their videos. Link to their channel is in the description box below if you guys want to check out more of their content. But they gave me permission to react to some of these videos, so that's what we're gonna do right now. If you guys are cool with that, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go. All right, first video we're gonna check out is called True Grandmother Horror Story, and what you guys need to know about me is, one, I hate grandmothers. What? I'm kidding. I don't hate grandmothers. But one, scary grandmas, oh man, that's gonna be a doozy. My grandmother tried to kill me. All right, guys.
It was April of 2007, and my birthday was approaching. Most of my family had already told me the gifts I would receive.
Really? Who does that? Who tells them the gifts they're gonna receive? Way to be a spoiler alert, Mom!
Like a new Wii along with video games for it. My grandmother didn't tell me anything.
Oh
now,
my gosh,
my grandmother had always
hell.
been a strange woman. She wasn't very talkative, but I liked to hear the stories she told.
Guys, if I saw that in a dark hallway at night, that ain't my grandma. I'm hitting that with a baseball bat.
They were creepy, but intriguing. She told me she was going to give me a book. She didn't show it to me, nor did she tell me what it was about.
Even the dad and mom are scared. You guys saw that? They were just like, yo, who invited this grandma to the party?
Once my birthday rolled around, I was opening gifts from my loved ones.
Nice.
When I got to my grandmother's present, I opened it up and I saw a book with a pentagram carved into its front cover.
Oh, jeez.
I picked it up and thought nothing of it, because at the time, I didn't know what the shape was or what it meant.
Might as well have
As
given
soon
him
as
a
I
Kama
grabbed
Sutra.
it, though, everything went pitch black. When I woke up, my family was surrounding me, and my mom was scolding my grandmother about giving me the book. My grandmother looked at me, but her eyes were evil-looking.
Oh, that's
That
creepy.
night, when I went to bed, I was having a pretty good dream. But suddenly, something woke me up.
What the heck? Bitch ain't ever cut her nails before? Why do they look so cat-like, like right here?
I looked around and saw nothing. Then, suddenly, I saw a shadowy figure in the doorway looking at me.
Oh, God.
This wasn't a case of sleep paralysis because I was able to move. But that didn't comfort me because that meant it was real life.
Okay, guys, I know I keep stopping the video real quick, but not only are we reacting to scary stories, I want to tell you guys stories of my own. So when I was in high school, I played a lot of basketball, and I would not drink water. Like, I would not hydrate myself. If anything, I would go to the store that was by the basketball court, get, you know, like a soda or something. And then when I got home, I'd be super tired from playing basketball all day, and then I'd just knock out. And then I would always, like, just be able to open my eyes and then not be able to move, like, my hands, my legs, nothing. And I was scared. I was trying to call for my mom. I was like, Mom. It wasn't even like that sound. Like, that's actually louder than what I had. It was just more like me opening my mouth and just breathing a little bit, like trying to say mom, like, and that would happen to me frequently. Like, I didn't even know why that would happen to me. And the doctor told me that I was having sleep paralysis, and I was just like dehydrated and very fatigued. Like, I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I just wasn't getting enough water into my system. I didn't really have as much sleep paralysis as I got older, as I like took care of my body. But yeah, when I was younger, especially like my sophomore and junior year, I would get sleep paralysis like crazy. But luckily for me, I would never see stuff like that in the corner of my eye. I would just be really scared that I couldn't move because I have a fear of like not being in control of myself. That's why I don't like to like drink alcohol, because I like to be in control of my own thoughts in my body. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about my own sleep paralysis experience. Let's continue this.
The figure crept closer and closer to me.
Granny.
When I looked closer at the figure, I saw gray hair and crooked teeth.
Crooked teeth, yellow teeth
That's
too.
when I knew it was my grandmother. I screamed and ran past her, but she grabbed me and tossed me back.
With her
I
saggy ass
noticed she
titties
had
too.
something in her hand, but I couldn't tell what it was. I saw one of my toys that I had gotten a few years ago, picked it up and threw it at her.
Oh, yoink.
She fell to the ground and I ran past her, telling my parents.
Yeah, buddy.
My parents called the police and they got there and arrested her.
Bro, he got that God
The
aim.
thing she had in her hand was a knife,
Oh, she got the knife. Ooh.
and she was planning on killing me.
Why?
To this day, I wonder what would have happened if that toy wasn't lying there.
Oh, she would have slashed gas, cut a hole in that ass. That's it? Alright guys, this next one hits a little bit too close to home because my cousins and I, when I was younger, we would talk about Bloody Mary and we would dare each other to go inside of the bathroom, turn off the lights, and just say it 3 times, and I'd always feel like it was real. Part of me still feels like it's real. I don't ever want to try to find it out, and I don't recommend that you guys try it because you guys might see something that you don't want to see. But this next video is called Scary True Story About Bloody Mary.
One day, I was on my way back from a school party. I was with my friends, but please keep in mind I was only 20 years old.
Oh, you were still gonna get
We
your
were
shag
drunk,
on.
so we really didn't know where our Uber driver was taking us.
Oh, this was
He took
recent
us
then.
through this road called Sanol in California, and everyone in the car knew this road had a very upsetting story behind it. We didn't care, since we were all drunk, and it was 3 a.m.
20 years old and you were drunk? I'm calling the police!
We just wanted to go home. At what seemed like the end of the ride, the driver stopped at the side of the road and let in this girl.
What? No! There's no way you're gonna let a girl on the side of a road called Sanol inside the car wearing a dress like that. You got me messed up. I'm giving that dude 1 star for that.
She sat in the back seat of the car. She claimed her name was Mary. All of our hearts dropped when we saw she
Scary
had a
Mary
dress on.
ain't bad looking. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a white dress.
What's up, baby?
She also claimed that her husband dumped her on her wedding night. She said she was trying to find a ride for 3 hours, but she couldn't since it was too dark outside.
Oh!
When I got a good look at her, I was shaking.
Why does she look
because
like
she was tearing
that?
up blood. I whispered to my good friend Dominic. I told him about the Bloody Mary story. I told him that it took place on this very road and that the girl might be a ghost. Right as I finished that sentence, she looked at me through the rearview mirror with her bright, white eyes and asked us if we were talking about her.
Oh my god, guys, I got the chills that kill right now.
My heart dropped once again. We asked the guy to pull over, but he insisted on dropping us off at our location.
Nah, bro. I gotta
One
make
of my
my
female
Uber
friends
rides.
in the car started crying after Mary started reciting all of our names from the back of the car.
Dude.
We were scared because we didn't tell her our names. Now everyone in the car was crying
Even the
except
driver?
for me. It felt like we were driving forever, but it had only been 10 minutes. It got brighter out, and we realized that no one was in the back.
Oh my god!
It was a night
I knew
spirit
that
that
was
was
gonna
there,
happen.
and it left because it was now morning.
I knew she was gonna
The
disappear.
next morning, I
Yeah,
thought about
wash
what
that off.
happened
Wash
while
the
I was
filth
taking a
off.
shower. When I looked in the mirror, I saw a scratch on my neck.
I'm telling you, man's got kinky that night with the guy and the girl. That wasn't from Bloody Mary. That was from a good time, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that was it. Okay, but yeah, that was from a good time. This next one is called I Met the Guy Who Ate Human Flesh. I have nothing relatable to say about this. I mean, I know people who eat ass, but I don't know people who actually eat human flesh, so let's just begin. Let's just start it off. And for the record, no, I do not eat ass.
This
but I
happened
do not oppose
when
to
I was
ass
in
eating.
college. I was 20 at the time, studying for an upcoming exam in biology.
Okay.
That is, until my roommate busted in my room. She wasn't yelling, but I could see she was drunk by her excitement. I rolled my eyes and sighed. I completely lost focus now. But it was okay. I kind of gotten used to her behavior. She was a party girl while I was, well, a nerd.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
tried to
nerd
get
too.
back on my reading tracks again, but she patted me on the back and drunkenly giggled before speaking. Come on, Jasmine. Every time I see you, you're always reading a book. I
That girl wanted to get experimental that night.
sighed before speaking. And every time I see you, you smell of alcohol and vomit.
Oh,
frowned
kill
at
him,
me.
girl!
How about this? I'll be quiet all week if you come to this party tomorrow at 8. I wanted to say no, but then I thought about it. I mean, I do always work really hard. Besides, she won't barge in like this for the whole week? Sounds too good, I thought to myself, so I nodded and continued to read. We got ready. I hadn't dressed up in ages, so I was kind of excited. The party was loud, filled with drunk people making out, bumping, and dancing. The party was hosted in a basement-like setting, only it was much bigger and had a lot of space. I'm not going to lie, I did have a few drinks. I wasn't drunk, but I was definitely tipsy.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
as my view became
Oh, that hurt my
tilted,
throat.
this guy comes out of nowhere and has small talk with me.
That's the flesh eater. This guy, This the guy she tells you not to worry about that eats humans? Come on now.
Fairly attractive. He didn't seem drunk. We met and exchanged names. From what I remember, he had red dyed hair and blue eyes. He was white and about 6 feet. His name was Luke. We laughed and talked about topics like studying and books and that kind of thing. The talking went on for about a half an hour. He then said, "Hey, I'm going to get another drink. Want anything?" And I said, "Why not? I mean, I'm having fun." So later on, he came back with drinks. And the next thing I remember, we were making out in the corner of the party room.
Whoa! Hey, if this cannibal guy is getting more action than you, then something's wrong here.
It was so quick, and then he asked me, "Want to go back to my place?" Which I politely declined. I already know what he wants. Besides,
is a
I
dog.
needed to be on campus in the morning. "Come on, I promise it will be fun." I remember that he kept on trying to get me to go, but he gave up after I made it clear I wasn't interested in going to his place. He rolled his eyes angrily and gave me a paper with a number on it. "Fine. If you change your mind, give me a call."
Creepy alerts. Wee wee wee.
He leaned close to me and whispered against my ear. Then he walked out, and the rest of the night was a complete blank. The next day, I woke up inside my college bedroom, on my bed, next to my roommate snoring on her bed
Ooh,
as
she
well.
looked like she stinks.
As I got up to shower, a paper fell out of my pocket. It was the number, which made me remember that guy. But I had more important things now. I showered then and went to study. I remember reading my book when all of a sudden I felt dizzy. Then I woke up in the bed with police officers and nurses talking next to me.
What?
Turns out I had this dangerous allergic reaction that could only be caused from saliva or any bodily fluids that had come from decaying or rotting flesh.
What? So wait, that guy ate somebody, made out with her, had the stones, had the freaking cojones to ask her to come back to his place, and he still got turned down. Damn, he ate somebody, asked her to come. Oh my goodness, this guy. Luke.
Which, to
Lukey.
my surprise, was weird. I hadn't been kissing anyone, let alone ate anything raw. Then I remembered the guy. I told the police about the guy at the party and gave them the number he gave me.
Snitching.
A few weeks passed and my allergies went down, so I could live my life normally. I just finished my test when my phone rang. I answered it, and it was the police. Turns out the guy from the party had 2 dead, decaying women's bodies inside his apartment.
Oh!
They must have been there for months.
Oh,
My
that
heart
makes me feel
dropped.
dirty!
The thought that I made out with someone who ate human flesh, or even worse, was what if I had agreed to come to his place? I may have been one of those bodies.
That would have been you. Oh, that is creepy. So if she came back with that guy, she would have been the 3rd victim. Damn. And then we never would have gotten that story like that. That she would have been like another bad ending. All right, guys, we're going to react to one more. It's called Online Dating Gone Wrong, Almost Kidnapped. I've never online dated before, but it's scary because catfishing obviously is possible. If you guys don't know what catfishing is basically when you pretend you're someone, and then when you meet them in person, you're not actually the person that you portrayed yourself online. So I think that that's what's going to happen over here because it went wrong. They almost got kidnapped. So let's check it out.
When I was 18, I only just recently got out of a relationship with a significant other, and I wanted to see other people. I took up online dating on this app that I don't want to name. I never told my parents about my previous relationship, or the guys that I talked to online, so they know nothing about this story. But I still need to tell them one day. Anyway, within a short period of time, I received lots of messages from guys. Most of them were perverts.
I'm a pervert. Nothing wrong with perverts. Just don't take it too far.
Or just didn't catch my attention until a cute guy messaged me. I forgot his name, so we'll just call him Justin.
How did you
Justin was
forget his
around
name?
23 years old at the time. When he messaged me, he told me how attractive I was and showered me with affection and romantic text messages. I was naive at the time, so I was awed and blushed when he told me all that. We started to get to know each other. He was living in Canada, and I was a Polish girl living in the United States. We had a few hobbies in common, and we both went to college. I was studying to be a police officer to get an associate's degree, and he was going to university to get a bachelor's degree. Then, eventually, his messages started to make me uncomfortable. He said that he preferred white girls over Asian girls, and that he always wanted to have sex with a white girl.
Whoa!
He asked me if I was still a virgin, and even though I felt uncomfortable, I said yes. He started talking to me sexually, and I didn't like it, but I complied. Then he asked me if I could visit him sometime in Canada, even though I just met him a couple days ago.
Wait, this is all happening within the span of a couple days? This man went from, hey, you are so pretty, XOXO, to, man, I want that white pudding.
Living with my parents in a strict Polish household, I told him that I couldn't because of that. He then argued that I was an adult and I could...
Why is there a snake? Why is there a snake in here? What is the snake supposed to represent? His personality? His ding-dong?
He then argued that I was an adult and I could make my own decisions, which was true, but as a Polish person, you still have to listen to your parents even though you're an adult. Of course, I did tell him that I lived in the United States, but I didn't tell him exactly where I live.
Good. Smart girl. If you guys are online dating, do not ever give out personal information. Because what if it doesn't work out? They still know where you live, so that's super creepy.
He then asked me if I lived in XYZ town in XYZ state. I was shocked when he asked this because I never told him exactly where I lived, and on my profile, I did not give out my location, so I have no idea how he found out about that. I lied to him and said that I didn't, but he said I was lying, and I confessed.
That's why, guys, once he knows that location, like once he found out where she lived...
Then he asked me for my address, but I refused to give it to him. He got angry and said that everyone gave their address out, which of course, I knew wasn't true.
That's a lie.
I then blocked him.
Thank you.
But the story doesn't end there.
Oh, no.
A few weeks later, I heard that in my neighborhood, there was a break-in. 2 men broke into a house, but they didn't steal anything. Instead, they might have been looking for someone. My heart jumped when I heard this. Justin was looking for me.
What?
A couple houses later, and they gave up. I waited a while later, and I have not heard about anything like this again. I dread to think what might have happened if Justin found the right house in my neighborhood and kidnapped me.
I feel like that's just a coincidence. Like that right there, I feel like that was just a coincidence. The creepy thing is that he found out exactly what state she lived in, but I feel like those 2 guys breaking into somebody's home, I feel like that was a coincidence. I don't know why. Let me know what you guys think about that. But you know what? I'm actually kind of getting into this, so let's do one more. All right, guys, this last one is called My New House is Haunted. And I don't mess with that, guys, because that's one thing I get paranoid about going into anybody's house. The history behind people's houses, because think about it, guys. We live in an age where there's been so many people that have passed on in our lives, and who knows who's like buried underneath people's houses, the history of violence or like demonic things that have happened in people's houses. I don't like messing with that stuff, so this is probably going to give me the heebie-jeebies.
My 3-year-old son and I moved to a house from our apartment. It was a very old building, and the inside of the house always seemed to be just a little darker.
Wait a minute. Go back. Something is not adding up here, guys. This kid's pale as milk, and this dad's looking kind of black. Unless the mom's black, this dad need to get a DNA test because this guy is blonde as a Cheeto.
Seemed to be just a little darker and just a little colder than it should have been. Not long after we moved in, a friend of mine came to visit. The whole time we were sitting and talking, she seemed very uncomfortable. When I looked at her face, I noticed that something in the other room had caught her attention. Her eyes grew wide and she said, "I have to go." I asked her what was wrong, but she refused to tell me. Her odd reaction was freaking me out, so I kept after her.
Dude, she just
On
left
her way
too?
out the door, she finally blurted out, "This house is haunted."
Oh, she looked in the other room and said this house is haunted. Come on, bro. I'd be so mad if I just got that house and I moved in and then I invited a friend. They're like, bro, this house is haunted. I'm like, you kidding me? I just moved in here. My back still hurts from moving in that TV. Are you joking?
But she wouldn't tell me what it was or what made her think so. To this day, she still refuses to tell me what she saw.
This better not be the end. Oh,
About a week later, my 3-year-old son casually asked me who the old lady in the bathroom was. One day, I was leaving my house for work, and I got to the car and I realized I needed to run back in the house to get something. I walked into the house, and as soon as I got inside, this framed photo on the wall shot off the wall. It didn't fall down. It shot horizontally away from the wall.
Yeah, that shit just doesn't happen, guys. Like, frames do not just shoot like zing! So, that's haunted. That's haunted.
And it landed on a mosaic table with enough force to break some of the tiles off of it. I felt like whatever was in the house was pissed, and that I came back in after it thought I had left for the day. After living in the house for about 6 months, I noticed a weird square cut into the boards on the deck. There was no handle, but I was able to pry it up. The hole was just big enough to fit through, and there was a ladder going down.
Why would you go down?
For some reason, I went down and I found myself in what looked like a homemade basement. It was basically just a room dug out of the earth, with no constructed walls or stone supports or anything like that.
What is that at the end?
It was very dark, but I could see something over in the corner. It was a suspicious looking stone.
Oh, no!
It looked like one of those old headstones you see in cemeteries. Just then, some insects started jumping on me, so I got out of the basement as fast as I could and never went back. Now this is the part that affected me the most. It's also the reason we left the house. One night I was in bed laying on my stomach just about to fall asleep, and I heard someone walk into my room. The footsteps came from the doorway over to my bed. I didn't realize until later that the fact that I heard the footsteps was weird because the room was carpeted. When the footsteps reached my bed, I felt someone put their hands on my back. 2 hands, just gently laid flat on my back and kept me there.
Maybe the ghost was horny. You know? Spirits gotta get it on too. You guys never know.
I assumed it was my son. "What are you doing?" I asked. But there was no answer. I looked up. No one was there. I got up and checked my son's bedroom, and he was in bed fast asleep. We moved out soon after that, and we never looked back.
Alright guys, I'm done with all this stuff because I'm freaking myself out now. Like, I'm down here by myself. I'm scared as hell. Like, I'm paranoid. I can't even pee without like looking at my peripherals tonight because I already know I'm gonna be paranoid. But if you guys enjoyed me reacting to some of these animations, let me know if you guys want to see more, because I'm down to see more. Obviously, I want to get permission from the creators of this. Wansee Entertainment was so nice to let me react to this content. If you guys want to see more of their videos, link to their channel will be in the description box below. But if you guys enjoyed this anyway, you guys had a good time, then make sure you guys give this video one big fat like. And tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude!